Yes. I'll call this meeting of the Waushara County Board of Adjustment to order. This meeting will begin with a public hearing. Anyone other than the applicant or the representative wishing to speak must register and submit the registration slip to the zoning administrator at this time. Following the public hearing, the board will conduct its monthly business meeting, at which time we will vote on the applications. You may stay for the meeting and hear how the applications are decided, or you may leave following the hearing. The applicant and town board will be sent a copy of tonight's decision. Any other person wishing to receive a copy of a decision can sign the sheet on the table at the front of the room. Those of you wishing immediate knowledge of the outcome of these proceedings may call the county zoning office tomorrow morning. The procedure we will follow for hearing each application is, after each application is read, the applicant, their agent, or representative will have the opportunity to present their application, followed by any questions or comments from the board. Then all correspondence will be read. Then others in favor will have a chance to speak. Anyone objecting will then have a chance to speak. I will then ask for a summary of the board's field observations and any staff comments. Finally, the applicant will be allowed a chance for a brief rebuttal if they wish. Anyone wishing to speak should use the microphone at the front here, state their name and direct their comments to the board. I ask that all testimony be kept brief and to the point. If you are testifying as a nearby landowner, please tell us where your property is located relative to the subject property. Tonight's hearing will be recorded and the recordings will become part of the record. Comments that are based on hearsay or secondhand information, as well as slanderous or prejudicial remarks, will be ruled out of order. The board has looked at all the properties and the record will reflect their observations. Any person affected by an administrative decision of this board has 30 days from the filing of tonight's decision to make an appeal. Such appeals shall be heard by the Waushara County Circuit Court. Information is available from the clerk of court's office and qualified legal counsel. The county assumes no liability and makes no warranty as to the legality of any construction commenced prior to the expiration of the 30-day period. I'll now introduce the board. Directly across from me, John Bentz, George Peterman, Jess Urban, John Shirk, and I'm Kevin Fitzgerald, and our zoning administrator, Todd Waller. Our first variance, we have two variances tonight. The first one, Magnuson Family Trust, Mount Pleasant, Illinois, has made application for a variance in accordance with section 58-542 sub C sub 2 of the Waushara County Zoning Code to construct a 28-foot by 40-foot two-bedroom single-family dwelling on a full basement with a 5-foot by 28-foot attached deck to come within 11 feet of both side lot lines, 15 feet required in RS 20 single-family residential zone. A parcel of land known as Lot 8 of Sand Beach Plat, Section 7, T18N R11E, Town of Marion, Silver Lake, fire number N2002, State Road 73. Well, Mr. Magnuson and rep family come up if they would please, and then just tell us a little bit. Sure. We were there on Monday, but we got to put it on the record.
Right, there we go. So basically the house started in the 1940s as a one-room cabin, added on at least 3 times in the 50s and the 70s. Everything in the home is substandard. I mean, the house doesn't even have a foundation. It's sitting on telephone poles and 4x4 for the floor joists there. They added 2 bedrooms in the back in the 70s. It's on a concrete block foundation. It's only 5 courses deep, 2.5 courses are showing. What we'd like to do is totally razz the house and put up a whole new structure with a poured concrete foundation and have standard sized doors, walls, windows, and so forth. The only thing that's standard size in the house is the 2x4s are actually full 2x4s. The drywall is 3/8 of an inch. There's no insulation in the walls. It's all in the attic. It's everything. So, I mean, it was a seasonal place and it served its purpose well, but we've got a couple of grandchildren now. We've got elder parents who enjoy coming up here, and we would just like to have a normal sized doorway other something than 20 inches that we have to squeeze through.
Okay, I got a few questions for you.
Sure.
Answer the best as you can.
Mhm.
We know there's been a recent survey.
Mhm.
We have that. So now we know where the lot lines are.
Right, right.
You've talked to the neighbors?
Yes, I have, and I've got letters from both the neighbors on each side saying that they've looked at the plans and they've gone over it with us.
Okay. They gave you
I have no
an
question.
easement for the garage, correct?
Yes, I'm getting easement for the garage. I'm having Robin, in fact, Robin Blatter wrote it up and got it back to me this week.
We talked about the foundation, but for the record, can you tell us what kind of foundation will be on?
Poured, it's gonna be a full basement and poured concrete.
How far above existing grade will the first floor elevation be, if you know?
Roughly about 8 inches.
Okay. How much filling and grading do you think will need to be done?
I don't really think too much because I would assume there's gonna be material that's gonna have to be removed because there is currently not a crawl space or a foundation there now.
The finished height of the building?
Finished height of the building, it's got a 412 roof and it's a single story, so it's gonna be way less than 20-something feet.
Less than 35 feet?
Oh, yes, way less than that.
How are we gonna deal with erosion and stormwater runoff?
It's gonna have a drain tile all the way around the floor and the foundation. We're gonna have gutters on the house, of course, and if we need to redirect that at all, we can do that. We're also gonna have the person that's going to actually demolish the house and excavate, put up a silt fence to keep it from going into the lake.
Any other improvements planned?
Nope.
All of the setbacks will be met?
Yes,
You're on a sanitary system, correct?
correct. The sewer and the well and the garage are staying. Actually, of course, they're gonna be pulled back and capped because the house is coming about 4 feet further back.
What other options did you have, really?
Really not much, because I can't go up unless I lift the house up and put a foundation underneath it. And after talking with various people who have gone through this, they go, by the time you're said and done, the cost of building new versus remodeling is like $6,000.
What's the hardship?
Hardship is everything in the house is substandard. There's only one entrance.
Yeah, one entrance.
The ceiling height is 7 feet. The doors are 20 or 22 inches.
A lot.
Sideways to
A
walk
lot
in.
is a hardship though, too.
A lot is a hardship. I would die for a 66-foot lot. But unfortunately, for where my lot is all the way to the 73 landing and all that, they're all 100 foots that were subdivided into 50s.
Permits will be needed. You know which ones you're gonna need yet?
Yes, I'm gonna get a RAS permit tomorrow, apply for that, because I'm gonna have the house demolished sometime in December. And we're looking at starting it in March or so and pouring a foundation in April.
If this board would approve your request, when would you plan on building?
I would plan on be building in March and April. In fact, we're going with Terrace Homes up in Adams County. So it's a factory modular home. It comes in 4 cubes. And they set it on the foundation. That's pretty much it.
That's all the questions I have. John, do you have anything?
No, I think it's overall a pretty good plan. And, you're gonna be replacing something that's way overdue.
Oh, yes, yes.
George, anything? Just, John?
No.
Good planning. Yeah, it's nice to get nice plans like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't, you can have a seat and then if you need a rebuttal. we'll get-
Sure.
Correspondence?
County has not received any correspondence and we have nobody registered to speak.
Staff comments?
Okay, everyone should have a copy of the final staff report before you. Just to summarize, the original lot and home far predate county zoning. Subject property is a very narrow, very shallow lot, that dates back to 1925. As it was part of the Sand Beach plat, which was a 19 lot subdivision plat situated along the east side of State Route 73. Obviously, the vast majority of those lots measured 50 feet in width by approximately 120 feet in depth. And given the highway setbacks and shoreline setbacks, nearly all of those lots, all of the homes, all of the accessory structures are non-conforming structures. In this instance, the existing home is non-conforming as it is set back only 29 feet from the ordinary high water mark and only 8 feet from the southerlymost lot line. The applicant is now seeking to raise the existing non-conforming home to make way for a small 28 by 40 one-story single-family home. Per staff's advice, we've been out there doing on-sites, but per our advice and direction, the home will be centered on the lot and pushed back to the average minimum lot setback from the ordinary high water mark, which in this instance is 35 foot, which, by the way, is our minimum setback because that's the buffer zone. As illustrated on the proposed plat of survey, the southeast corner of the home will now be set back only 87 feet versus the average 93 feet. And this is due to the fact we're pushing the home back. With that in mind, it was not advertised that way, but we will have to include an additional variance as part of this. Obviously, the side yard setback and now a variance, very similar to what we did for Stoddard and Schultz's, a setback variance to the roadway. Board visited the property at the recent onsite on Monday, and we're generally supportive of the variance request. The board felt the request was in line with very similar variances granted in recent year, and that the home was in keeping with the size of the lot. And given the fact that the home will actually be moved back away from the ordinary high and centered on the lot, this actually makes a bad situation somewhat better. Staff has reviewed this request and believes the applicant has gone to great lengths, has met our concerns, and has designed a home that's in scale with the size of the lot and keeping with similar variances. With that in mind, and while we understand the board will be making a recommendation on this request later in the evening, staff is recommending approval of the variance to construct a 28 by 40, 2-bedroom, single-family dwelling on a full basement, to come within 11 foot of both side lot lines and to come within 87 feet of a Class A highway when 93 feet average is required in the town of Marion, subject to the conditions that you have listed there before you.
Just a point on that 87 feet, he's still farther away than the neighboring properties,
Yes, he
which are
is.
much closer to the highway. So
So exactly, one home, he's actually the house to the south is actually a little bit further back, but the house to the north is actually located closer. That's why we got into the averaging. And then also based upon the way the house is going to be oriented on the property, it's just a corner of the house is going to be at that 87 mark that actually, angles away and will meet the 93 at the other corner.
okay, thank you, Todd. Any questions of Todd? Hearing none. You want to add any more words? Are we good?
No, I think we're good.
All right, thank you. That's the first Magnuson one. We'll go to the second one, Habitat for Humanity LLC, Otoma, Wisconsin. That one will be tabled for the November meeting. So we will take that up at the business meeting and table that. And we will go right to our business meeting. Take a roll call, so 5 of us here. I'll accept the motion for the approval of the agenda. Second? Just second, all in favor? Motion passed. Approval of the minutes. George, second.
I'll second.
John seconds. All in favor? Motion passed. Action on public hearing applications. Just, and that would be for the Magnuson N2002 State Road 73.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion
Turn your
to,
mic on, please.
Chairman, I make a motion to approve.
I'd second that.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? John Benz seconds. Just your reasons for the approval.
Sure. Unnecessary hardship is present and the current code requirements would be unnecessarily burdensome and prevent the applicant from using the property for permitted use, because very few alternatives exist due to both the shallowness and narrowness of the lot. The impacts of construction are being minimized by the placement of the home. A minimal relaxation of code is being granted. The circumstances are beyond the control of the applicant and are unique to the property, not the applicant. The lot predates zoning regulations and the construction matches the lot and available area. The hardships / unreasonably burdensome limitation of setbacks is due to unique physical features or limitations of the property and not the circumstance of the applicant as follows. Very little buildable area exists. The lot is very narrow. The lot is very shallow. It's an overall small lot size. The variance will not harm the public interest or neighboring land uses and damage the intent of the zoning code, because this would make a bad situation better. The proposed use will not harm the public, zoning code, or neighboring land uses if conditions are followed. A literal enforcement of the zoning code would be unnecessarily burdensome. Therefore, the requested variance, if approved, the following conditions shall apply. The development must be in substantial compliance with the site plan and testimony provided at the public hearing. The first floor elevation and filling and grading shall be done in accordance with the site plan and additional information provided at the public hearing. All other required setbacks must be complied with. All permits must be obtained, including land use, building, and connection to public sewer. At the time of building permit and land use permit, the applicant shall revise the plans to incorporate gutters and downspouts on the elevations of the home. Said downspouts must then either be connected to a French drain system or terminate into water infiltration pits. The applicant shall agree to work with the land conservation personnel so as to minimize stormwater runoff. All code requirements must be complied with. It's the responsibility of the builder and landowner to protect the neighboring lots, lakes, and road during construction. Standard erosion control plans must be in place prior to construction starting. Any future construction cannot occur without first obtaining a variance. The applicant will allow agents of Waushara County access to the property to ensure compliance with the terms of this decision, Waushara County codes, and state and federal laws. The landowner is responsible for maintaining good visibility at the driveway entrance. The landowner is responsible for determining lot lines and required setbacks, and the building shall not exceed a maximum height of 35 feet.
The board has heard Jess's reasons for his motion for approval. I'll take a roll call vote. John Benz.
Approve.
George Peterman.
Yes.
Jess.
Yes.
John Sure.
I approve this.
And I, the chairman, vote yes. Motion approved 5-0. Congratulations. Good luck on your building project. The second, we need a motion for the Habitat for Humanity, located at, N2477 18th Avenue, to table it till next meeting.
I'll make a motion to table the Habitat Humanity for Humanity variance until the November meeting.
Thank you. Second, John Benz, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Any map interpretations, Todd?
Nope, no other business. Nope, we have no map interpretations. Next hearing, obviously, we do have, the Weiss variance, and do we have, Becky, did we receive one other?
Yes.
Okay. We do have here, we do have a meeting, so
There will be,
Yeah, well, we have.
there will be one
Yeah.
November and December.
we may have one other, so.
Okay, well, let us know. We'll be here. Anything else on the board? Comments?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn, a second. George seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for being here. Now the next one. Thank you, Todd.
Oh, thank you, guys.
November 14th, we have to fly to Omaha.
Oh, wow. Oh, geez.
$300 a piece.
You know what?
Okay.
Absolutely.
Took off too
Aye.
fast.
I will call a meeting of the Washington County Planning and Zoning Committee to order. This meeting will be conducted in the same manner as the applications heard by the Board of Adjustments. Please remember to keep your comments brief and relative to the matter at hand. The same time limits will apply to testimony, which is 5 minutes for the applicant, outside of committee questions, and 3 minutes for other testimony, including any rebuttal by the applicant. Anyone other than the applicant or the representative wishing to speak at this hearing must have registered. Anyone who has not should do so immediately and submit the registration slip to the zoning administrator. The committee has looked at all of the properties and will record, and the record will reflect these observations. Following the public hearing, the committee will conduct their monthly business meeting, at which time we will vote on the applications. You may stay and hear how the applications are decided, or you may leave following the public hearing. Any person affected by an administrative decision of this committee has 10 days from the filing of tonight's decision to make an appeal. Such appeals are heard by the Board of Adjustment. Information and applications are available from the zoning office. The county assumes no liability and makes no warranty as to the legality of any construction commenced prior to the expiration of this 10-day period. I will now introduce the committee. To my immediate left, Bart Peterson. Next to him is John Van Amerongen. Across from me is Robert Wadel and Patrick King. Myself, I'm David Bosser, the chairman, and to my right is Todd Waller, the zoning administrator, and Becky Hubach is our secretary tonight. First on the agenda is a conditional use request. William Krieger of Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin has made an application for a conditional use in accordance with sections 58-23610 and 58-45431 of the Washington County Zoning Code to place a used 14 by 56 foot used 2-bedroom mobile home on a concrete foundation in the AG General Agricultural Zone. Location, an approximate 1.7 acre parcel of land that is part of the northwest quarter of the northeast quarter and part of Lot 2 CSM 2303, now Lot 1 CSM 3301, Town of Hancock, W13417, County Road C. Is the applicant present?
I'm his brother.
All right. Excellent. And could you give us a brief synopsis of what you're going to do on that property?
We're gonna rip, actually, if it's okay, we're gonna rip the house down that's there because it was built in 1849. It's an old farmhouse. We're gonna put new windows, doors, new roof on the trailer, insulate the bottom, electric, gas, all that. I'm gonna be the one living in it. I'm just trying to better the property. I'm disabled. If I could go out and buy a brand new trailer, I'd be the first to tell you guys, hey, I want to buy a brand new trailer, but I just can't do it on what I make. And I'm just trying to really better the property. That thing isn't like 1,000 times better than my shape. The foundation's good. I have a guy that has been in construction his whole life that gave it to me. And he would have never gave it to me if he thought it was unsafe or if the wood was rotted or anything. There was one leak back, I think 15 years ago on the roof. They fixed it. We're gonna put a metal roof on it. And we have cap services. Once we get the okay, if we can have it, they're gonna come in and help us windows, doors.
Also, it's the Tomorrow Foundation, but none of these guys will do it unless we have permission to move into the trailer. They can't.
Yeah, we have to.
They won't do
get
any work without
permission
them.
first. And I'm just trying to make it better. Like I said, me and her, I've been with her 20 years. When she come up when my wife died,
21.
she's disabled, I'm disabled, and we're just really trying to get something for our forever home that we can live in until our kids take it over.
Can I quickly speak?
Sure.
Okay, the house that we're living in right now, the reason we need to move into the trailer, it's not just a want, it's a need. The roof is falling apart. You could bring a towel and soap and shampoo and take a shower in our living room. That's how much it leaks, how bad it leaks. The bathroom floor is falling in. The electricity is backwards. We're also having problems with like some black mold that is starting in the bathroom. So, and not only that, it just makes it harder for us in there with him being disabled and myself. I just found out I have small vessel disease, kind of like MS, but I have the probability of other things happening. So that's why we would really like to go ahead and move into this trailer up. You know, like I said, no work can be done until we move in.
And we have the skirting and everything for it. We are
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
put new siding on it. We're gonna pressure wash it and then Cap says they would help us try to get new siding and to make it look very presentable.
All right. I've got a few general questions for you. Have you talked to the town at all regarding the project?
I didn't know we had to. My brother's been handling all this
Okay.
and he said we had to come here first.
Right, yeah, it's just always just a generally good idea, just
I
to
know.
make sure that it complies with the town's.
I know Paul Miller, I think, is in the board and there. I'm really good. I can go down and talk to him. I know him really good.
Yeah, he helps us out there in
And
Christmas.
one other thing I'd like to say, I do 2 loads a month for Gene Bula. That will everything I make with him goes towards the house. Cause I'm only allowed so much each month to help out with everything.
Have you talked to your immediate neighbors regarding the project?
Yes, Wayne Buckberger is he's actually on our old family land that my aunt sold. He's like right next to me. He is all for it. He actually, when he came up, he lives kind of in Iowa right now and he come out and seen it. He's like, that looks awesome. Steve Hose and I talked to and they've all noticed that we had it there. And I said, well, until we get permission, we can't do anything with it. They said it's a lot better than the house you have.
Okay, good. And do you know where your property lines are so that you know?
My brother has the survey on
Okay,
that. He had it done. My dad died, what, 9 years ago? Or 10 years ago?
No,
Well,
about 8 years ago.
before my father died, he had it all surveyed when they switched. My brother owns both of them because when my father died, that's the way he wanted it. And all of them are all surveyed and I think my brother has it at my father's house.
And not only that, they even have, this house has been owned by the Krieger family for years.
Yeah,
It's just
I
stayed
think the
in the
family's
family.
been there like 60 years.
okay. Do any of the other committee members have questions?
You, were you there yesterday or did we talk to your brother?
Yes, I was here.
I was in the house.
Okay. You had mentioned that, the septic system that you were going to, I didn't hear, were you gonna hook up to the present system?
Yes, the septic system's only 5 years old. It's all been updated because when I moved in there back, I don't know, I think it was like 15 years, 17 years ago. We had a problem with septic and they had like a 300-gallon tank back from the olden days that was there. So we did put it cost, I think it was like $6,000. We put a new septic, everything in it. It's got the double tanks and new drain field and everything for it.
And then, just a question about, are you gonna anchor your mobile home?
Yes, my buddy's going to bring gravel in and then we're gonna put cement anchors in. He said that we could use into the ground and then we'll anchor it right to that.
Thanks.
I don't know how to say this, you guys. I have a very good support system. My brother's been in the concrete business and he's got friends in the roofing and the electrical. And so we have a big crew behind us that is willing to help us out.
Thank you. You may have a seat and if you need to give a rebuttal, we'll invite you back up to committee.
Thank you.
Any correspondence?
Staff has not received any correspondence. For the record, the town has been notified of the conditional use. We have received no correspondence, though.
Anyone registered to speak?
And we have no registrants.
Great, staff comments, please.
Okay, everyone should have a final draft of the staff report before you. I'm just gonna go through a little brief history. On April 30th of this year, the county zoning office received a report of a used mobile home being placed upon the subject property without receiving the required conditional use. Upon inspection, it was determined that not only was there the used mobile home situated on the property, which did not receive the conditional use, there was also a single-family residence. We did notify the applicant of the violation for not only the mobile home, but the fact that only one residence is permitted upon the property. It's at that point that the applicant informed staff that the single-family home is going to be raised and that they do plan on undertaking significant improvements to the mobile home. So the applicant is now proposing and has submitted plans for replacing the roof, installing new doors, windows, power washing the exterior, painting the siding, as well as updating the unit with power and the sanitary hookup. Committee visited the property at the recent onsite on Wednesday, October 16th, and were generally supportive of their request. While the committee voiced serious concern over the condition of the existing structure, they wanted to afford Mr. Kruger the same opportunities that have been granted to others in hopes of that the proposed improvements will actually come to fruition and that said structure will actually aid in maintaining surrounding property values. The committee also wanted the property cleaned up and debris removed from the premises within the same time period allotted. And I know as we had talked out on the onsite about approximate 6-month time period. Staff's reviewed this request and then based upon the photos submitted, it appears that said home is in need of significant interior and exterior work and upgrades, and that in order to bring this back to a like new condition. However, should the applicant complete the work identified in the conditions listed in your staff report and as identified by the applicant in a timely manner, said structure could meet the intent of the zoning code. It would not aesthetically detract from its surrounding. And it could actually aid in maintaining the area property values. While the committee will be making a recommendation on this request later in the evening, staff is recommending approval of the conditional use for the mobile home subject to the conditions listed in your report. One of which I just would like to identify, and this was, I think, agreed to by Mr. Kruger on site, is number 4. Within 6 months of the approval of the conditional use, the applicant shall replace the roof, install new doors and windows, power wash and paint the exterior of the home, install new skirting, update the unit with power and sanitary so as to bring the home back to a like new condition. Within the same time period, all debris and trash shall be removed from the premises and the property cleaned up.
Do you need to address anything or rebut
I
anything?
just have one question. Say, this is just hypothetical. If we get like 3/4 of it done in 6 months and we still have a little bit to go at spring because, winter's coming around, do we have to come back and talk to you guys on that?
We'll work with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank
As
you.
long as we see significant work done, and I think that the committee would be in agreement, is that, we would allow you to continue onward, subject to just adhering to the conditions.
And with the trash, I had talked to him yesterday. My father had built a cabin when we were younger. We just got done ripping it down, I think 3 months ago, and we rented 2 big
Slowly.
dumpsters, and my dad had so much in there.
We had
It's
a
just
trailer,
overfull.
we had a dumpster, had to rent the
So we've
dumpster,
been,
like half the size of this room.
yeah,
It was
we've
full by the time
been
we were done.
taking loads each week down to the dump to start getting rid of everything.
It's just been a slow process.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next on the agenda is a zone change. Flight Family Farm Group LLC of Coloma, Wisconsin has made an application for a zone change of approximately 2.5 acres in accordance with sections 58-131 through 138 and 58-724 paragraph 4 of the Waushara County Zoning Code from AG3 General Agricultural to CS Commercial Service to allow for the area to be used for commercial entertainment purposes. Location is an 118-acre parcel of land known as part of the south half of the northwest quarter, part of the north half of the southwest quarter, and part of the northwest quarter of the southeast quarter, Lot 1, CSM 620A, Section 15, Town 18 North, Range 9 East, Town of Richford, State Road 21. Is the applicant present? And if you would just like to provide us with just a brief synopsis of what you're planning to do there with the property.
Sure. So we'd like to convert commercial, because we would like to use our slide. In the future, we see adding Apple Canyon, possibly a train and a zip line. So those things would be added to that particular piece of property.
All right, I just have a few questions for you. Have you talked to the town regarding the project? All right, excellent. And have you talked to your immediate neighbors?
I have not talked to my immediate.
Pretty far away from any nearby neighbors, and the use of your property is pretty apparent. Okay. And have you had a recent survey of your property, or do you know where the property lines are located?
I know where the property is.
All right. Does the committee have any questions for the applicant? All right, you can have a seat, and if you need to provide a rebuttal, we'll ask you about that. All right, any correspondence?
Yes, zoning office did receive some correspondence from the town. This was reviewed at the regular scheduled board meeting back in April. And then per the correspondence, the board had no objections to the expansion of the flight's activities, which included a 2.4 reclassification / zone change from AG3 to CS. The board cited the town's comprehensive plan, which slated properties along State Highway 21 for commercial uses.
All right, anybody registered to speak?
I have nobody registered.
Staff comments, please.
Okay. Obviously, the flights are no stranger to the county and the public hearing process. You know, throughout the years, the flights have received numerous land use permits and sanitary permits. In 2013, on an adjacent parcel up near 21, the flights did receive a zone change from AG3 to CS for a farm market / store with construction of a commercial kitchen. There were some amendments to that. In 2014, an additional minor change was approved to allow construction of a 20 foot by 30 foot building used as a gift shop, work area, and winery and miscellaneous preparation of goods. And then last year, an additional minor change was approved to have a farm day camp, outdoor weddings, and to allow construction of a 24 by 30 building to be used once again as a additional gift shop and work area. The applicants once again seek to expand their commercial activities. And per the submitted drawings in the narrative, Carrie and Adam wish to provide an agritourism activities, including 175-foot super mega slide, apple blasters, zip lines, and a train. Said area as shown on your drawings is kind of an irregularly shaped parcel that's situated immediately north of the homestead between two cropped fields. Staff has reviewed this request and believes a zone change at this location along State Highway 21 corridors in keeping with not only a town comprehensive plan, but that of the counties. The flights have always been exceptional stewards to the county and the farming practices, both commercial and agricultural. While the committee will be making a recommendation on this request later in the evening, staff is recommending approval of the zone change for an approximate 2.25 acre parcel from AG3 to CS as listed, subject to the conditions listed in your report.
You need to provide any rebuttal. All right. With that, we will end the public hearing portion of the meeting and move on to the business meeting. Becky, you have a roll call taken. With that, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda for the evening. So we'll move by Bob. Second.
I'll second.
Second by Bart. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next is the approval of the minutes. You were provided minutes in your packets.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Pat to approve.
Second.
Second by John. Any discussion, corrections? Hearing none. We'll enter, all in favor of passing that? Aye. All right, that's done. All right, there is no unfinished business, so we'll take action on the public hearing applications. First is for Mr. William Krieger.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Pat, second by Bob. Is there any discussion? Pat, would you like to read the possible approval conditions?
Bob's gonna read it for me.
All right.
The requested application, if approved, will be consistent with the spirit and intent of the zoning code and will not be contrary to the public interest because after reviewing the application and considering any testimony, the application, if approved with conditions, will not harm the public or neighboring land uses. There was no testimony in opposition. The proposal could match the lot and available area.
I'll read the possible approval conditions. Therefore, the requested application, if approved, the following conditions shall apply. 1, the development must be in substantial compliance with the site plan and testimony provided at the public hearing. All other required setbacks and all other codes must be complied with. All permits must be obtained, including land use, building, and sanitary permits. Within 6 months of the approval of the conditional use, the applicant shall replace the roof, install new doors and windows, power wash and paint the exterior of the home, install new skirting and update the unit with power and sanitary so as to bring the home back to a like new condition. With this same time period, all debris and trash shall be removed from the premises and the property cleaned up. Within the life of the land use permit for the used home, the applicant shall raise the existing single-family residence. Adequate parking must be provided. The driveway shall meet all required codes, including fire and access code requirements to provide for access by emergency vehicles. In addition, the driveway shall provide good visibility and a turnaround area to prevent backing onto the road. The applicant will allow agents of Waushara County access to the property to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. The foundation, water, sewer, and electrical connections must conform with uniform dwelling code requirements. With that, hearing the conditions read, I will take a roll call vote. Bob Whale,
Approved.
Pat,
Yes, approved.
Johnny, Art,
I approve.
and I, as the chairman. Congratulations.
Thank you so
You
much.
guys don't know how much it's been.
This will be a good Christmas because
We're gonna head out.
That's fine.
thank you again so much, everyone.
Next is the zone change request. Is there a feeling from the committee?
I'll make a motion to approve.
A motion to approve by Art,
Second.
second by John. Art, would you read the possible reasons for approval?
The requested application, if approved, will be consistent with the spirit and intent of the zoning code, will not be contrary to the public interest because after reviewing the application and considering all relative testimony, the application, if approved with conditions, will not harm the public or neighboring land uses. There was no testimony in opposition. The proposal matches the goals of the zone and provides suitable area for commercial activities.
John, would you read the conditions?
Therefore, the requested application, if approved, the following conditions shall apply. The development must be in substantial compliance with the site plan and testimony provided at the public hearing. All required setbacks must be complied with and all other codes must be adhered to. All permits must be obtained, including land use, building, and sanitary if needed. Given the commercial nature of the development, the applicant is responsible for contacting the building inspector regarding any and all commercial codes that might be applicable to this project. Adequate parking must be provided. All driveways shall meet all required codes, including fire and access code requirements to provide for access by emergency vehicles. In addition, the driveway shall provide good visibility and turnaround area to prevent backing onto the road. The applicant will allow agents of Waushara County access to the property to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. The application is now forwarded to the Waushara County Board of Supervisors and the town board of Richford for their consideration. The board is responsible for determining whether this application, if approved, is in compliance with the town's approved land use permit.
And hearing the reasons and conditions, I will ask for a roll call vote. Bob?
I approve it, but I'm gonna abstain because I am employed by Flight Family Farms.
All right.
I approve.
John?
Approve.
Art?
Excuse me, I approve.
I approve as well. Congratulations. With that, review and possible action on extensions.
We have none.
Yes.
We did those yesterday.
Review of minor changes.
We have none.
None. Review of next month's public hearing applications.
So I am expecting that Golner House, which is, in Mount Morris there. I'm anticipating that to come in, and do we have anything else?
Change
Oh,
for
yes.
that one in Pine River,
Yep, and we have
and then we have another used mobile home.
All right.
Okay.
Financial report was yesterday, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
And with being no further business, we are adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.